Bet, ikaw ay
Filipino, 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 Filipino.
Mr. President, I also would like to apologize because I didn't really catch the entire speech. Actually, I didn't catch most of it except for the picture of the stadium that was built for the Southeast Asian Games. I was being distracted by the chair of the Committee on Finance and the chair of the Committee on Higher Education with their stories about some people. And they put on the record that they are still laughing as I speak. Anyway, on that note, Mr. Chair, so because I cannot ask, I cannot go into detail, no, because I did not know that Her Honor would be taking up this subject. But the project that Her Honor has flashed on the screen is very close to my heart. I am an athlete. I am also a national team player in my youth. And I was there during, I don't think I was there during the, what do you call that? When they, ano ba tawag doon yung corner? Groundbreaking ba yun? When they put the first, I wasn't there then, but I was there when there were only beams, and I continually checked on it in the days to come. Mr. President, this is a world-class stadium built in record time with the advice no less than, if I'm not mistaken, and I can check for the record, World Bank and or ADB on how to finance and how to do this project. Mr. President, the Southeast Asian Games would not have been as successful as it was if we had only the dilapidated stadium of Rizal Memorial of Ultra. May I ask Her Honor if she has seen the place? Because the national track and field team, when they visited it around November, not sure, September, November, before the Southeast Asian Games commenced, they went there for the first time. Does Her Honor know that they cried when they saw the stadium? They cried when they had the opportunity to run on the turf. Bakit? Kasi doon sila nagpa-practice sa napakabulok na stadium. Ganon ang kalagayan. That's how we treat our athletes. Ilan lang ang Manny Pacquiao ng Pilipinas who has had the opportunity to raise himself and have sponsors. But not all sports are like boxing and basketball that have a strong following. Many of these athletes will never even be remembered. But on that day that we won the gold medal, the entire Southeast Asian countries gave their due respect to the Filipino athletes. I am embarrassed that we cannot even honor that. I am embarrassed that we choose to make a political issue out of a world-class facility. Kaya tuloy, wala nang mag-aabalang magpatayo ng matitino at kahanga-hangang mga infrastructure dito sa Pilipinas. Dahil magpatayo ka lang ng maganda, sasabihin na sa'yo na may kalokohan ka. So paano? Puro bulok na lang tayo para walang pumansin. Ganon. Paano magiging white elephant? Madam Sponsor, do you even know what are the conditions of our sports facilities? Para sabihin mong yung world class na yon magiging white elephant? Hindi nyo ba alam na pinasa natin ang National Academy of Sports? And doon, doon magte-training ang mga bata natin, mga future Manny Pacquiao. Paano naging white elephant? Sana naman mag-ingat naman kayo sa mga paratang nyo. Dahil yan na naman ang i-headlines. Di man lang natin binigyan ng konting parangal, konting respeto ang mga national athletes. Na alam nyo ba, kung hindi dahil sa bayanihan to, hindi pa magkakaroon ng allowance. Hindi thanks to Pia Cayetano, thanks to Speaker Pia Cayetano, Congressman Bambol Tolentino, and Senator Sani Angara. So hinahalo ko yung mga mukha ng mga athletes na to dun sa tinatawag niyang white elephant. Kasi that is the only reason why you put up such a structure for people. In this case, for young athletes. So I cannot separate their faces and their names from the structure that you now want people to cast doubt upon. Again, I do not have the details. Wala akong hawak na papel, but I have to stand up for BCDA, for the architects, for the engineers, for every single construction worker that worked overtime. Madam Sponsor, alam niyo ba 24/7 nagtrabaho yon para makadeliver tayo sa Southeast Asian Games? Di ba mas kahihiyan yun na nag-umpisa Southeast Asian Games tapos hindi natapos yon? Nanood ho ba kayo? Nandun ako, nanood ako, nanalo tayo ng mga kung ano-anong event. Yung pole vaulter natin, he claimed the gold. Si EJ Obiena, he's going to compete, he was supposed to compete in the Olympics. Pero hindi natuloy yung Olympics. At least, nagka-Southeast Asian gold medal siya, di ba? At least nanalo siya in his own country. Napanood siya ng tatay niya, na coach niya. Ganon ang kalagayan ng mga athletes. Madam Sponsor, yung nanalo ng marathon, taga Cagayan de Oro siya. Umiiyak siya nung nakita ko siya after niya. Hindi niya akalain mananalo siya. Alam niyo bang na-lockdown siya dito for how many months? Hindi nakauwi. O baka sabihin niyo irrelevant na yun. Hindi irrelevant yun. Kasama yon sa mga sakripisyo ng mga athlete. Tapos ngayon, ang kaisa-isang nagawa natin for them, binibigyan pa natin ng mali siya. Kaya yan ang mangyayari sa bansa natin. Puro mali siya tayo, puro paghuhusga. Mr. President, like I said, I do not have the details. Wala ho akong panahon sa ngayon na aralin yon dahil I am sponsoring CREATE and I am the Senior Vice Chair of the Committee on Finance. Pero pag pinagpatuloy pa ni Senator Risa sa ganitong panahon, na katulad nga ng sinabi ko, yung mga athletes na yan, na lockdown, hindi nakauwi, 10 buwan, walang allowance, 10 buwan, walang allowance. This is their livelihood. And you know, the only thing they have left is their pride. So when we do things like that, we slap them in the face. That is what we do, Mr. President. And when Her Honor chooses to use words like white elephant, you make the people who bother listening to us, if there are still people who bother to listen to us, the more that they question our judgment, the more that they question the things that we do to make those who need more in life, to give them a better life. And that is exactly what that project was all about. Ba't kakainin ba natin yon? Hindi. So, syempre, ba't tinayo yun? Kasi nga may purpose. We were in line to sponsor, to host the Southeast Asian Games. Was there enough time to go through all the steps? I don't know. But I am sure there's a logical reason because the president of BCDA is one of those persons that is highly respected in this government. He was pulled in to assist the IATF with the testing, the capacity building, putting up quarantine centers. Hindi mag-aabala si Vince Dizon nang mag-cut short lang ng corners para lang batikusin ng ganito. Ginawa niya yon para mapatayuan ng may pagmamalaki namang stadium ang Pilipinas. So I leave it at that, Mr. President, but I sincerely regret, inasmuch as we all have the right to stand up here for anything that we want to talk about. We do. Kaya pwede, lahat tayo may right. Pero I sincerely regret na nagagamit ang floor natin para sirain ang napakagandang pangalan ng mga napakagandang mga proyekto na tinayo para lang naman bigyan ng kahalagahan ang ibang sektor ng ating bansa na normally hindi napapansin. They are normally training, like I said, umiyak sila nung tumuntong sila sa tarp nung track oval na yon. Umiyak sila. Sabi nila, wow, ang lambot. Sabi ko, ba't saan ba kayo nagte-training? Ma'am, dun sa track oval na sira-sira na, sa Pangasinan. Ha? Paano kayo nakarating ng Pangasinan? Eh, wala na ho kami mapag-trainingan sa Metro Manila. And then their facilities, nakatira na rin ako sa Rizal Memorial. As I said, I was a national team athlete. Yung tinirahan ko sa Rizal Memorial noong 1983, awa ng Diyos, ganun pa rin ang itsura. Kung hindi pa natin pinatayo ang track oval sa University of the Philippines, which is open to all, inabot ng mga anak ko, 30 years after I graduated, the same track and football field ng UP. O so siguro si UP, sinundan nila by the letter every single step. Awa ng Diyos, inabot ng 4 na taon. Nag-graduate na yung anak ko, never niya na nakitang yung field na yon. That is how infrastructure projects in the Philippines go along. So if you don't want our people to dream, if you don't take a stand and give honor to what should be honored, the people who did right, then we'll just watch our country crumble because we're just going to be finger pointing every step of the way. And I take offense as an athlete, as a mother of athletes, as a mentor and as a friend of all these athletes, whose sole pride was to be able to see such a structure built in their honor, questioned and castigated in this manner. Salamat po.
Thank you. Well, just to add a little trivia. Of course, it's very known fact that I have been a national player of the Philippines since 1976 all the way to 1987. I do understand the points being raised, and more particularly about the athletes. But there is one thing that really got my attention in the facilities that were built. It was only then that I found out last Southeast Asian Games, for the reason that our swimmers always have a hard time against the foreign competitors. We always see the Olympic swimming pool. Yun ang ginagamit nila, Olympic-sized swimming pool. Yun ang competition, di ba? Yung pala, mayroon pang isa pa dapat na Olympic-sized swimming pool other than the one that's going to be used, which we now have. Dati wala tayo. Kasi dapat pala, bago mag-compete, tumitira na dun muna. Nagpa-practice muna doon sa isa. Kaya doble pala yun, pag-ayang gano'n. Anyway, the other countries had that before. Singapore and all that. Tayo yung nagtsatsaga sa, may mga lumot doon sa ultra. So now, we not only have a top-level Olympic-sized swimming pool for international competitions, we also have an international Olympic-sized swimming pool for the training, not the official pool that is being used. Anyway, just the trivia for the record. So, Majority Leader, Senator Cayetano, go ahead.
Mr. President, since you mentioned that by Olympic standards, you're right, that's a requirement that you have they call it a warm-up pool.
Yun,
So without that, you cannot get the proper accreditation. You will not receive that highest level of accreditation, and you will not be able to sponsor international competitions. So in fact, Mr. President, during the Southeast Asian Games, as it was happen, sa sobrang tuwa nung ating National Sports Association ng Swimming, they already said yes to host this international competition. I'm not sure if it was this year, so baka hindi nga natuloy because of COVID, no? Because they are now qualified to host those kind of swimming events, which we could not do before. Kung familiar kayo sa Rizal Memorial tsaka sa Ultra, hindi ganun ang swimming pool doon. And I'd also like to spread into the record, similarly for the track oval. So the ones that you would have seen, for anyone here who watched it, that track oval is the main track. Pag lumabas ka dun sa stadium, there's another track, Mr. President. Kasi ganun din, it is required that there is a warm-up track. And then, in addition to that, underneath the stadium, not really underneath because same level ng ground, inside the stadium, indoor, merong mga 100-meter din na track. So, pag matagal ka pa, doon ka magwa-warm up sa labas. Pag malapit ka na, pwede ka mag-sprinting dun sa loob. And then finally, in the main. All of this would not be accredited. Again, yung white elephant na inaabala nyo, Madam Sponsor, we can now host international competitions. And that will even be cheaper for our athletes because they don't have to keep going abroad. We can host. It brings glory to the country. Mura para sa ating mga athletes and coaches. May facilities naman doon para matulog. Hindi ko natapos yung kwento ko, pero yung sinasabi kong natutulog ako dun sa dorm, dun sa Rizal, na ngayon ganun pa rin. Now, we have world-class facilities. Nung nakita ng mga athletes, naiyak sila kasi mukha daw hotel yung kanilang kwarto. Ano sasabihin natin ngayon? Dapat hindi mukhang hotel yan. Dapat mukha lang kayong tabi-tabing dormitoryo. Di ba nila karapatan yon? Na humiga dun sa hindi iniipis, na humiga sa magandang kama, na magkaroon ng magandang banyo? So yan ang kine-question natin. Anyway, Mr. President, it's because of you na dinagdag ko to dahil nabanggit niyo yung swimming pool. Dinagdag ko na rin po yung track oval. Thank you.
Laban Pinas.